Your first reaction isn't always your truth. Think of an automatic response you've ever had. Someone made a statement about you and it triggered you. You wanted to become defensive, and or you feel overwhelmed and like and scroll, or you just simply ignore because something has triggered you. Those triggers are a sign of that something bothered you because of something that has attacked your identity, or is pointing out something that you believe it is true about yourself, but when someone else points it out, it makes you mad. So just think about what could that possibly be. In empowerment coaching is a homework that I have, uh, the women that I help with, that I've coached in the past, uh, figure out, because most of the time what triggers you is an idea or an identity that you've created for yourself, and it's not true. And the more you create that identity for yourself, those ideas that are sabotaging you are the reasons why you continue to continue the same pattern. So how can we interrupt the pattern? Truthfully, awareness is alone doesn't help you change the pattern. Is you have to interrupt the response. So if someone has triggered you because of what they have said, you have to pause and breathe and ask yourself, is this true about myself? Is it really true of how I truly feel? Or is it really a characteristic that I have? That pause will help you start asking yourself, where did that come from? Is it have do I have proof that that's not normal? One of the things I remember going when I was doing my studies, and with my mentor Crystal Andrews, and she was actually coaching a client, and it was part of my training. And one of the things that triggered her client is when someone would say something about her being stupid. But when we give power to a word, we are we are losing ourselves, our energy. If you feel that someone pretty much has called you out on something, and you feel that they've made you little, like maybe that you're not smart enough or that you're not good enough, you can always go back and tell yourself, look in the mirror and actually make that word have less power. It's an amazing exercise, because what you're doing is not allowing those words affect you, because you've changed the narrative. So you have to interrupt that pattern. You have to interrupt the response to those words, because if they're sabotaging you, if they're triggering you as well, that means that something within you is telling you that that's who you are, when in reality has been false. But the false belief that we have is that now that I have awareness of this is not who I am, I simply will stop doing it. For instance, procrastination, right? That's something that can sabotage us. And we know that no, actually I'm not a procrastinator, because I have all this proof behind it that I can do my work. When I have a due date for my job, I will get it done. When people ask me to do certain things, I get it done. It's just when it comes to this that I may procrastinate. But it's not simply I know that I have all this proof that I don't, then I can change it and make sure that I am proactive and taking action in the things that I normally procrastinate. You can't really do that. It's not about stopping to do it. You just have to start making a shift in the narrative of asking yourself, maybe I'm procrastinating because it feels harder than what it is. So maybe it's just taking a small action in order for me to get it done. Because most of the time we try to change behavior so quickly without really understanding the root of the cause of that behavior. So it's a matter of like you shifting the narrative in order for you to start shifting the narrative in order for you to start interrupting the pattern, but at the same time it's taking smaller actions to continue to interrupt the pattern, interrupting the pattern of how you talk to yourself, or how you go about your day is another example. Is, let's say that you've told yourself, you someone says, you're not a morning person, but in reality you have proof that you could be, because you've done it before. Because, for instance, you've woken up early for an early flight, so that means that you could be you could wake up early. So how could you do it? It's just like practice. It's all about behavior practicing. And the more you do certain behaviors, the more you start creating it as a habit. And as you start seeing yourself differently, that's when you start interrupting the pattern. um, so you just have to identify, is it my choice or is this my pattern? Sometimes the patterns have become routines, they become habits. So it's not a choice that you've made. But once you start making the choice of changing the behavior and choosing to, going back to, I'm not the idea of, I'm not a morning person, but I would love to be because I know I could get more done. Then it's just a matter of like choosing to wake up early. I do it. I've done it in the past where, it's tough to wake up early sometimes, especially if you've not had an, a good sleep, right? Uh, and at some point, I was telling myself, I'm not a morning person anymore. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. without a problem. But now that I've gotten older, it's become harder. And the truth is I've made it an identity that because I'm getting older, maybe near perimenopause, that I decided that, okay, maybe I've seen the symptoms, that one of them is not being able to wake up, that you feel fatigued. So I've identified myself with that idea. But I've proven myself in the past 5 weeks that I'm able to get back into my routine of waking up early, because I've changed the narrative. I've told I instead of like thinking through whether when the alarm goes off that to stand up and get ready, I just do it. I've set my alarm far enough for me that if I don't go and pick it up and turn it off, I'm going to wake up everyone else. So that also, it's been something that I've created as a habit. And I've changed the idea, the identity that I've started connecting myself with. So today the practice is, when you cat you're sorry so like, when you catch yourself reacting automatically, pause for 5 seconds. When someone calls out something, or something that you're scrolling through and it triggers you, just just ask yourself, why is it triggering me? Because the reason why things are triggering you is because you feel that those are true about yourself, and they're belittling the way that that who you are. You're giving your power away when you do that. So pause for a few seconds and start yourself, is this true? Is this response I want to choose, or is this response I've practiced? And most of the time, the answer will be, is a response that I've practiced, because it's triggering you. So it's just an automatic idea that you will respond to it because it feels familiar. So a question for you is, what are statements or patterns in your life that you are ready to interrupt? And tomorrow I will be talking about you don't change your identity overnight. You begin by yourself by giving sorry you begin by giving yourself evidence of who you're becoming through the choices you make. And I've touched a little bit on that today with example of, me believing that I'm because I'm near 50, I'm close to perimenopause. These are all the symptoms, and that's why my identity has started being aligned to that, instead of realizing that I'm still the same person regardless of my age. Um, so it's something to think about. And this week has all been about identity, and how that has been created through your experiences. So if you haven't caught on, I try to make this live small shorter so you can get through. um, but if you need me to even shorten it a little bit more, or if you have questions along the way, please DM me. I would love to give you more clarity and ideas that I present in these lives. And hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.